She has life leech, which means any damage she does to another character, she absorbs some of that health they lose. Divine shield, which means she gets attacked, and the first attack she receives doesn't do damage. Stun means that when she attacks an enemy, she has the chance to potentially stun them, so they'll skip their next turn. And then again, cripple from the general fight rules, void and amplify, void and amplify. This lady here, Adelaide Brightwing, has the flying ability, which reduces its chance of being struck by a melee or ranged attack. It has repair, so whatever teammate has taken the most armor damage, it will repair some of the armor, +2. Resurrect, whenever one of your teammates dies, she'll resurrect them. Immunity, doesn't get any negative status effects, so she can't be stunned or poisoned. And then the other ones from the battle overall rules. This dude here, Crystal Werewolf, has silence, which means it reduces the opposing team's magic attacks by 1 down to a minimum of 1. Thorns, so if it's struck by a melee attack, it will do damage to whoever strikes it. And then the rest of the basic battle ones. Got this Scabo Hireling, who also has repair. Basically what I'm doing with this Grandmaster Wraith Summoner is I'm trying to synergize all the armor bonuses and effects. So repair, this person also repairs 2 armor to whoever has the most armor damage. It also has camouflage, which means it can't be attacked directly unless it's at the front of the line. So right now, these two are at the front of the line, my Lord Arianthus and this Jin Chihuahua for my opponent. So this opponent has Thorns and Enrage. Thorns is described. Enrage means if their health is less than max, they get more speed and more attack damage. Phineas Rage, he has Reach, which is melee, means the melee can attack not from the front position. So basically he can reach past whoever's in the front and attack my first person. Oppress, which is good against my guy I've got here. Oppress means that he does double damage to anything that doesn't have an attack. So my Lord Arianthus doesn't have attack, so they will do 6 damage to Lord Arianthus when they attack. But since I have shield, I'll reduce it to half again, so it'll actually do 3 damage rather than the 1 that it would normally do without Oppress. Prismatic Energy has Magic Reflect and Void, so it's Magic Reflect, same sort of thing I mentioned about Lord Arianthus. If this one is attacked with magic, it will reflect some damage back. And Void works like Shield, but against magic, so Void will cut the magic damage it receives in half. Serpentine Mystic has Affliction, which means when it attacks an opponent, it has the ability to hinder that opponent's ability to heal. So it can't be healed while it's afflicted. Also has Slow, which will reduce the speed of all of my characters by 1 down to a minimum of 1. This is the Goblin Shaman, which has Weaken, Magic Attack, and Weaken. And so all of my characters will have 1 less health. And this is a Beetle Queen who has Tank Heal, which means it will heal whoever's in the front position a percentage of their health every time. So yeah, the basic stats are attack, speed, armor, and health. The attack type is a symbol. The amount of damage it does is the number inside. The higher your speed, the more likely you are to avoid physical damage. No effect on magical damage unless you have a special ability. Health is health. Armor prevents any sort of damage that's physical unless you have void armor, which also defends you against magic. So I'm just going to let it rip. This is round 1. It shows the battle variants, all the traits. Now each of our summoners are buffing and debuffing. There's silence added to them, slow added to me, weakness added to me. This guy's attacking, did 3 damage, crippled is additional. I have void, I did no damage, I'll reflect it back. It does 1 damage because I have the reflect, same sort of thing back this way. Damage 2 because of the amplify, attacking me with thorns. Then we get another magic damage. Does none because I have void, but I get to go deliver 2 damage to it. This will do no damage to me because I have void, reflect it back, They take 2 damage because they amplify, repair to shield. And I just stunned their first person, which is great. They'll miss their next turn. Life leech 2 health. And now I'm taking more damage, or giving them more damage. This is round 2, and they all go over again. Whoever attacks first is whoever has the highest speed. So that one had speed of 6. This guy has speed of 5. So whoever has next highest speed will go, but they're stunned. They just healed their tank, and they went because they had the next highest speed. Now I killed them by reflecting their magic, and I'll come close to killing this one for the same reason. So they just lost their healer, their tank healer, so they can't heal the tank anymore. And I'm just about to kill this guy, reflecting the magic. So this right here, like I picked a really good team for their lineup, and I'm just completely dominating them. They don't really have.
You chose based on what they had already. So you
No,
already
you don't know
knew.
what the other player is going to use. You only know what the rule set is and what 5 teams they used the last time they played.
Okay. So a lot of people.
So they could
just
pick
play
any
the same
team, and
moves.
so the thing is, if you use the same team over and over and over, the other guy knows what you're going to pick, right? So it's good to mix it up and have your variation. But I'm just completely like slaughtering this person right here. Like they did not anticipate my choice of a team. So they just killed my tank, but I've got Adelaide Brightwing who's going to revive them because she has Resurrect. And that only works once with the first person on your team to die. So what looks like is going to happen is I'm going to completely wipe them out, and they won't even kill any of my people. So yeah, just going with the attacks, and I even got the dude in the back there, my Crystal Werewolf. His silence, though he didn't actively do any damage, but passively he reduced their magic attack and rendered them almost useless against my dude up front with the Void. And so I'm just going to speed it up to end this battle. Just basically let them die very quickly. And that's that. So I completely dominated this 4-person in this match. And then when you win, it affects your ranking. So right here, these are the points I have. So I'm in gold tier. These you can tell by my emblem. And then I got 1962. That's like my points within the gold tier. So whoever has the highest is first place, second place, third place, etc. This tells me how many ranking points I went up for beating this person. The amount of points you get to increase your rank is dependent on your difference between yourself and your opponent. So if you play someone really good, you'll get a higher jump. If you play someone really shitty and win, you'll get a smaller jump. This is Wild, which is the variant which uses any card from the game. Here's Gold 3. That's the tier I'm at. RP earned. So this is really where your earnings come from, your RP. And this is based on your current points right here, combined with multipliers, which are identified here. So your capture rate, that overall determines your maximum amount you can get for your RP, which is, I believe, reputation points or reward points. So reward points for the season and focus points, 10,803. And so that is basically an equation that involves my 1962 ranking points multiplied by a few factors. And then with modifiers here, so win streak plus 5%. So this is, I won 2 in a row, so I get a 5% bonus for this being starting a win streak. I used focus cards, which are in my current focus, which is just another way to get bonuses, like basically tasks, like daily tasks. So I used what looks like 2 cards that were in my focus, which I think were flying. So I used 2 flying cards, 5% each for 10. Then an extra 10% for any gold cards. One of the cards I used was gold. The Scavo Hireling was gold. So that gives me an extra 10% rewards. I used a promo card, which was the Rooney. So that gave me an extra 10%. I didn't use any of the beta cards. And the guild I'm in has certain benefits from buildings that are upgraded. And so one of the benefits is I get additional 9% onto my reward points. And so then the main thing, so that determines how much reward you're getting. So then this number goes into an equation and this is my actual reward here. So I just earned 0.731 SPS. SPS is what you directly earn from victories. So this number is multiplied by a factor of a reward that you would get in SPS, and this is the actual amount of SPS that I received. So all of that to basically say, everything I just did was to get 0.731 SPS directly, and the rest is just reputation and leaderboard. Yeah, so that's the gist of, the quick base feature of Splinterlands. I don't hear you anymore. Are you still available?
Yes, I am still
Good.
here, luckily.
Good.
No
Yeah.
issues. Yeah, I was, lots of technical difficulties on my end. Yeah, I think I have a feeling now that the issue was the Skype window being in
hmm
OBS, because it started delaying when you were showing when you started the game around. The Skype window was severely lagged out and wasn't showing it smoothly, and so then I swapped out the window to the actual Skype window and cleaned up that, and yes.
Good.
So I think
Right
we
on.
caught some of it. We caught like at least the second half of the battle or more, and after that,
Yeah.
smoothly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the rest is really up to me to edit from my end, I guess.
So
Yeah.
do you enjoy this game, or is it about because I know some of these like NFT games, a lot of them are like pay to earn, so you're like
Mhm.
earning seems to be more important than anything else, like fun or the game.
No, I disagree, right? Because
I mean, depending on the game.
no, nothing, in my opinion, even a regular person job is worthwhile doing if you don't enjoy it, right? You need to have extra motivation. Like if I didn't enjoy Splinterlands, I wouldn't be very motivated to really dig into it and grow my collection. Like I've got this, pretty significant collection of
Is
cards,
each
lots
card an
lots of
NFT that
gold
you could
cards.
sell?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so you can
And you can
sell
have
all these.
yeah, yeah, and I have multiple ones. Like basically,
Which chain is this on? You say again?
Hive,
Hive.
Hive.
Hive chain.
Yeah, which is one of my favorite.
It,
It's really good.
is that a layer one chain?
Yep, yep. So with Hive, basically your gas is related to your resource credits, and you're given so many resource credits for free, and you can stake Hive in order to get more resource credits. So I don't pay anything for the transactions, right? Which is the thing I like, and it's really quick. Transactions are usually within, you know, seconds, maybe a minute sometimes, and yeah, and this is like my wallet ID, Arseman Cometh. Like if you want to send me money, you just send it to Arseman Cometh. You
The
don't need
little
to.
promo. Hey, you're
Yeah, you don't.
selling on my channel. You can't think
I'm not
anything
selling anything. Yeah, and this is just High Keychain, which is just a wallet to use, right? And yeah, I really like it because I don't pay for any of my transactions. It's really fast. Wallets are simple, and it's got the governance system and everything built into it. Savings, and then they've got their own kind of places where you can trade, right? They've got their own exchange here for a bunch of different Hive tokens,
So this is a
and
Hive
then it's
ecosystem.
yeah. So these are pools. So right now, like you can kind of see my history of my holdings in my pools. So all this stuff here, this is money directly from Splinterlands that I've had extraneous left over that I'm not using elsewhere. So I get into these liquidity pools and put in,
Something
stuff
weird about
I've
that.
earned.
Okay. Yeah.
What's that?
No, it's just liquidity pools. The term liquidity pools just sounds weird. So.
Oh, you're not really familiar with liquidity pools?
No, well, I mean, I don't know them technically, but I meant like liquidity pool. Just the term just distracts me. I think of like a mercury pool at the bottom of the ocean or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, the business use of liquid assets and liquidity sounds super dumb to me. And like, these are physical states. Why is it liquid? Like I'm sure you can
Yeah,
use a
yeah,
different
yeah,
term.
right. That too, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where it comes from. And it's a pool because people get together to pool their assets so that people can swap them, right? That's the base reason. You're creating a decentralized exchange. That's what this is all about right here. And so these are my positions. And as you can see, like right now, I've got like $64 worth of money in there because what I do is any extra assets that I have that I'm not staking elsewhere or whatever, I put into this liquidity pool and use it as like in a savings account. So it'll earn me money while it's sitting there. And then when I want to buy something, that's when you see these drop offs. These are when I made other investments, right? And I pulled it out of the liquidity pool to reinvest elsewhere.
Okay, so
So
you're staking it as liquidity for the chain, or who is the liquidity you're giving to?
well, it's a decentralized exchange, right? So the liquidity goes to a pool, and however much of that pool you own, you'll get that percentage of the fees for swapping. It's just made so people can swap tokens, basically, right?
Okay, so it's you're providing like a pool of funds that somebody can
Yeah,
buy and swap out,
right. Yeah, that's right.
and you
So if
gain
some,
like some crazy percent interest on that, or
yeah, so every transaction has a fee. I can't remember the fee right now, but let's say it's 0.5%. So if someone spends, let's just go with US dollars, like makes a $100 transaction, they would pay half of a dollar in fees. And then that $0.50 fee would be split between the owners of the pool.
okay, well,
So
it's
let's say they
proportionally.
were right. So if they were swapping Hive for threshold gaming coin, I would get 0.027% of that 0.5% for the fee,
Okay.
right? Yeah. So yeah, that's basically how decentralized exchanges work, right? And you can just add and remove liquidity whenever you want, create your own pools. You can give rewards for pools. And so that's where this is what I do with any leftover like
There's
Splinterlands money
risk.
that I'm using
There's
elsewhere.
risk to it, right? Can you lose the money?
Yeah. Oh,
Totally.
of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like if somebody buys, say, all of the SPS out of your SPS pool, then like that dramatically reduces the price to essentially nothing, right? If they buy it all, right?
Oh, okay. Huh.
And there's different rules that you can have in place to like kind of prevent certain things from happening. But basically, this all then it comes down to impermanent loss. Are you familiar with impermanent loss?
No, never heard that before.
So that's like kind of an inherent thing with liquidity pools. So when you're in a liquidity pool, you're acting as the exchange, right? Instead of using a centralized exchange, you're acting as the exchange.
Right, right,
So
okay.
for any exchange to make the most money after they're done, like when they pull out, sort of thing, ideally the coin, let's say Bitcoin in US dollars, let's say you put in all the liquidity when Bitcoin was worth 20,000 US dollars. It doesn't matter where it goes as long as it doesn't, like, say, if nobody eats up all of your liquidity or whatever. But as long as you pull out at $20,000 worth of Bitcoin, you'll have no impermanent loss. That's why it's called impermanent loss. But if the value of Bitcoin goes down to like $10,000, that's impermanent loss. If you pull out then you're taking a loss. But if you wait for Bitcoin to go back up to 20,000 and you pull out, then you had no loss whatsoever. Same thing if it goes the
And
other
you're
direction.
locking in a price. You're kind of buying Bitcoin at a certain price, and then your profitability is dependent on that locked in price.
Essentially,
Sounds
essentially.
like.
Like you make fees off of people using it, but from your fees, you will have to deduct your impermanent loss if you pull out at a different position. So if the price of
Okay.
the coin halves or doubles, that's not when you want to pull out. You want to pull out when it comes back to where you went in, right? To avoid any impermanent loss.
So, and if it goes up, then you make money from that? Is it like
No, you lose as well, right?
you lose either way?
Yeah.
Oh
So
boy.
that's the same way like an exchange works, right? Ideally, they basically bank on it coming back to the price they went in at, right?
Huh.
Yeah. And that's That's how they win. It's kind of like, like during the gold rush, barely any people mining gold made money, but it was the stores that provided them with things that made money. They didn't have like all these, they didn't have to worry about these fluctuations and stuff. They just provided goods, took money from these people, and we're kind of hoping, like, let's say you sell 1,000 pickaxes, and then a year later, pickaxes go up by like 400%. Well, anyone that owns a pickaxe could sell it for a profit, but you lost out on that potential profit because you sold it when it was worth one-fourth that price, right?
Yeah, right. So what happens if like I mean I'm trying I gotta admit I'm not totally grasping the scope of the what can happen in these.
Mhm.
But like, I guess Bitcoin and this is totally dependent on Bitcoin, you say, or Hive price, or both?
No, no, whatever token you're putting into the pool.
The pool.
So
Okay,
I'm in
okay.
the PKM and SPS pool. I'm in the Swap Hive and Voucher pool, the Swap Hive and DEC
Oh,
pool.
oh, it's
Only,
specific pairs. Okay.
yeah, that's right.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And so like Bitcoin has been having a little run here. Looks positive, and I think
Hmm.
it's all the now the shit coins like Hive is pumping as well.
Well, I wouldn't jump Hive in there right after you say shitcoin, but
I dump it all in there. Although I think even I wonder if ETH is even included into shitcoin. I'm not sure.
well,
Um,
it sounds like you're using shitcoin instead of altcoin. So yes,
yes.
Ethereum would be there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. In theory, is included, and maybe the Bitcoiners, the maximalists, made that term. So, okay. So let's like what's a good example? Oh, that may be too confusing into the metaverse here. Let's just do Hive US dollars. Wait, is that
Yeah, I've got
Hive?
that right up here if you want to take a look. So
That's
here's the
not what
Hive
I just
price. It's
saw.
worth 41 cents.
Oh, it is 41 cents. Jeez, what was I looking at? I
Yeah.
just thought it was $4. Why does it say Hive blockchain? Oh, it's the stock is $4. I was looking at
Hmm.
the stock.
Yeah.
Uh,
The actual coin,
the stock is
41.02 cents.
pumping. Oh,
Yeah.
this is confusing.
But yeah. So,
Following the coin. Interesting.
Dark Energy Crystals taking a big
Okay,
beating.
yeah,
SPS
this
taking a
is
big beating.
yeah. Okay.
It's all right here, right in front of
So I
you on
mean,
your
yeah.
shared
So
screen.
okay. Uh, so with Hive, yeah, I'm looking at a different chart here on my screen, but
Hmm.
yeah, like that recent pump, the very recent pump. If you can end that chart, can you just hit like 1 month or something? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you start, can you just give an example? Like you start your pool, if you started pooling at the beginning of that run down earlier
Hmm.
this January, I guess, the beginning of the year,
Yeah. Yeah.
then what happens and like what is happens now at the price increased from
No,
say
nothing
26 cents to
happens.
40 cents, then
Yeah.
what's the impact and
So
what
this
are
pool you're
scenarios?
talking about, theoretical pool, would be Hive
Hive
to
US
US
dollars.
dollars,
Yeah.
right? Right. So that's what this pool would be. So if you put in at 26 cents and then, it went up to 41, that wouldn't be the best time for you to remove your stuff from the pool, right? What you'd want to do is wait until it dropped back down to 26 cents to have no impermanent loss, right? Says everything eventually, nothing is unique. It always returns to some price a second time unless it completely dies,
What
right?
happens if you just take it out now then? You have impermanent loss?
Yes. Yeah,
So you lose if it goes up or down compared to when you
that's right.
put it in.
That's right. Like I
So,
said, you're betting on it returning to the price you
you're
put in at.
okay, you're betting on it like
Yeah.
staying neutral or returning to your price. Okay.
Well, ideally, it'll fluctuate like crazy because that'll mean there's more sales and you get
Uh
more fees, right?
more okay, more transactions in the
Right.
consolidation phases. Oh wow, that's a weird
Yeah.
game. Interesting.
But that's how, like I said, that's how exchanges work, right? They rely on it returning to a certain price at some
Hmm.
point, right? And now that's just directly talking about your liquidity pool earnings. Like if you put in that 26 cents a fuck ton, and then it goes up to 41 cents, you're not losing overall, right? You're still gaining money, but not as much as if you kept it all when it was worth 26 cents and then sold it for 41 cents, right?
Yeah, like
So you can
instead
still
of
take your liquidity out and then sell your Hive, but you will have made less than if you just kept your Hive and sold it at this point.
instead of putting it in the pool.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right. So buying the coin is like is is on the price, but pooling is more betting it's not going to move or it's going to
Well,
come
no,
back.
it's right. Having the patience for it to return to where you bought in. That's what it really is.
Hmm.
And I mean, there's varying degrees to how much you're losing. Like, I'd still probably profit by taking it out now, my Hive at this point, but it wouldn't be as big as if I just sold it rather than. So it's just another thing to add to your equation of your consideration for trying to profit off of coins and stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it sounds complicated. I mean,
Well,
I mean
I
like
guess.
yeah, it's complicated in itself, but in combination, yeah, I remember when I was first getting into this stuff, like I just got into it, overwhelmed,
Mhm.
overloaded, I should say, like going into stocks and coins and then NFTs. It was like
Yeah.
it was way too much. I was like, and I didn't even get into this liquidity pools and DeFi
Mm.
stuff. It was already too much.
Yeah, well, that's why I think you trim your focus, you get used to
Yeah,
something, and then you
yeah,
dip your toes into something else, get used to it, dip your toes into something else.
yeah, yeah. You zoom in and
Yeah. Yeah. And like that's what I've done, with like trading futures and that. And like I just dipped my toes into it, then I got really into it. Like you just kind of give yourself some time, let your brain absorb it and then try to expand from there. Because, with anything, there's just too many options. If you look at the full scope of everything, you'll never do anything because there's just too many things, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. That's too
Yeah.
much. But yeah, I
But
was looking
like
at
so basically like I'm making dark energy crystals by renting out some of my collection. Like most of my collection is actually for rent,
for
right?
rent.
Most of my cards, vast majority of cards I own are being rented to other players. And so I'm earning DEC because they pay DEC to rent my cards, right?
And those are is that real people or bots or you don't know who's renting?
It's both, yeah. It doesn't take long to figure out if it's a bot or a person, right? But yeah, people or bots. Either way, bots are working for people. So people are renting my cards and I'm earning DEC. And I, in turn, will use some of that DEC to rent, but mostly I use it to reinvest. And so, yeah, renting these cards brings in DEC, and that's the base currency in the game. And I can use that for various things. Like I'm in a guild that I mentioned earlier.
Do you know
And
like so everybody's making money from this? The game, just the game.
well, yes and no, right? Like, I mean, if you make bad decisions, like buying cards when they're too expensive and then selling them when they're cheaper, you're not making money. But it's always competitive. Like, there's no such thing, even in the real world, everyone's not making money. You're taking it from somebody else, right? That's how it all goes, right? So it's competitive. And if you're good and make good decisions, you will make money. If you're not good and you make shitty decisions, you will
Hmm.
lose money, right?
Do you know how much roughly the top players are making?
No, I'm not familiar with that kind of number now. Last time I looked at that was like 2 years ago. Like I don't really know, but there's many different ways that you can take advantage of the system, either playing well and so you do good, so you get more rewards, or investing in a big collection to rent out, so that people will be paying you for your cards.
Holy crap.
You can buy a node, right? Which is basically you get a license, and then that's what's going to be running kind of the Splinterlands ecosystem down the road. is, again, it's kind of like liquidity pool. Like you're basically taking care of the transactions and you're getting a cut of it for it, right? So you'll be doing that. Like, and then Splinterlands like isn't just this card game. Like they've got land coming out. They've got the tower defense game coming out. They've got this other thing here, Genesis League Sports. And so basically what they're doing with Genesis League Sports is they're airdropping their token to people based on how much SPS they have staked.
Mm.
So I'm getting these free tokens for this other game just because I've staked SPS in Splinterlands. So right now, this is a really low number for me. I've got like 5,000 SPS stake, which is really low for me because I recently reinvested, right? I pulled out a ton. Like I had close to 100,000 SPS. Now I'm down to 5,000 because of my reinvestment. So based on this number, I'm part of this free airdrop. And you get it, you claim your tokens, and then you can stake them. And then by having them staked, you get interest on that, right? And currently the interest rate for that, I think, is something like 28 or 40%. And then even within, like I mentioned, the pools that I'm doing. So outside of the fees I'm gaining, Splinterlands is also rewarding me for these specific pools that I'm participating in. So this is a bonus that Splinterlands is paying me for being part of the liquidity pool. So I get my fees and I get the Splinterlands bonus, right? And again, my liquidity is super low because I've reinvested recently. And then you just take this, and then I can transfer it to my Hive wallet, and then I can add it to the liquidity pool to compound it. Like anything, if you keep compounding something, you're having more risk, right? You're relying on them doing well.
Yeah.
Another thing you get for staked SPS is vouchers. And vouchers typically just give you access to certain items or benefits. And this is the pools I was talking about. They also have governance here. So there's proposals. And depending on how much SPS you have staked, you get vote power on the proposals. But yeah, so here in my guild, this is where I spend most of my DEC on guild buildings. So our guild has a rule every season. Each member of the guild must contribute 1,000 DEC per season. So I typically make 1,000 DEC, in 2 to 5 days, let's say. And so seasons last about 2 weeks. So I'm still making more than I'm putting into my guild. And you get, like I said, you get various bonuses. Like since our lodge is a level 7 lodge, I got that 9% bonus you saw when I was showing you the breakdown of my reward points, right? So these are like sinks for the in-game currency to help kind of increase its value, right? Use cases, right? And the key thing with guilds is the brawls. So what you'll do is you'll assign yourself to a fray, which is like a battle within a brawl, and then your team will face other teams in the brawls. And then at the end of the brawl, you'll get rewards based on where you placed. And I got into this guild just basically because my buddy Nick Jerry was in it. And I originally started at one of their like feeder guilds. Yeah, he's dominating in silver right now. Like
so you got him. I mean, you as like a friend or something. Are you guys connected in there?
Yeah, well, Nick Jerry, right?
Yeah, I mean, like inside this game, are you somehow connected to him?
Yeah, we're in the same guild. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he mentioned the guild he was in. I approached the guys, and even though I didn't meet their requirements, I had a really good gold card collection, and so they invited me into the guild as a specialist to fight in the gold foil phrase.
Nice. With your Lion King lady?
No, she's not a gold foil.
She seems pretty gold.
Yeah, it's her color is kind of yellow. You see these two cards? One is gold rimmed. The other one is not.
Oh, okay.
This is a gold foil version of this card.
Oh, okay. Right.
And so they're more rare, they're worth more, and they actually give you a 10% bonus of your reward points. And that's why I went like crazy on gold cards when I started playing, because any time I earn, I'm earning more because I own the gold ones, right? So the base investment was higher, but I'm earning at a higher rate because of that, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
So there's a gold version of every card. So there's two
that's right.
versions of every card. Just
Yeah, regular foil and gold foil. And yeah, again, thanks to my
oh, is it?
collection of gold foils in the silver tier,
I
that's
like
what kind of got me into this
I like
guild.
these ocean creatures cards here. The flying squid and the lurker. Those
Yeah,
are cool.
Deep Lurker is one of the best
Deep lurker.
cards from the
Deep
Chaos Legion
lurker.
expansion. Yeah,
Mm.
these are all the dudes with their abilities, and yeah, like here's like
Yeah,
alpha,
those look gold.
beta, no promo in this in this. These are the reward cards. So these are the cards that you get just for playing, and you can buy and sell them. Um, yeah, and these are just the different editions. So there was alpha and beta, and then Untamed was a pack set, and then Dice was a mini set, and then there's Chaos Legion, which was the next major set, and then this here Rift Watchers is like the mini set tied to Chaos Legion. And then
Did
there's these
you
Gladius cards, which are only able to be used in brawls unless you have a special summoner.
did you play Axie Infinity at all? Is this anything like Axie Infinity or is it totally different?
No, I don't think it is anything like it. I mean,
Cause I feel like a lot of these blockchain games that are established or NFT type games that are it is these kind of card games that are easy graphically, I guess, compared to like having a full 3D universe that they're trying to
mhm.
build. So I just
Yeah.
thought Axie
So
Infinity was similar, and I thought I
yeah,
saw a few different card games.
I think Axie Infinity is very much like Pokemon. It's that style.
Well, I don't know what that is either.
Are you familiar with Pokemon?
The game? No, I have no idea.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
keep hearing of specific Pokemons that people reference sometimes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Their games became really popular in like the mid or late 90s.
What was it that long ago? Wow.
Oh, they're still popular, but that's when they
The
really broke out.
games? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. The original Game Boy one, I think, was the breakthrough one. And I used to run that on my old computer that I had back in the day, playing that bridge building game and The Sims and such.
Yeah, that was fun. I somehow
Yeah.
the original Sims or maybe Sims 2 was it was I feel like the best. Um, I liked how
I most enjoyed two.
yeah, I can't remember which is which at the moment, but yeah, I liked those early ones where it's limited
Yeah.
scope and you
Yeah.
can achieve everything you want to.
Right.
I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have time. Yeah, I don't think we can do this another game here. But
Yeah. Yeah. Just
next
you
time.
mentioned 3D versus 2D, so this is one of my
Right.
main buildings here.
Oh, that's why you said. Yeah, that makes. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Well, I meant
Modified
like
Kramer's car.
you know what I meant, like third person. Oh, nice,
Oh yeah, you
Arsman.
can run around this place, right? You can run around in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
This is the latest layer they added.
can you
So initially it
can
was
we see?
two-dimensional top-down, like the original SimCity, and then they made it 3D, and now they've made it that you can run around and
Can you do
hang
it
out
right
inside of
now?
it.
You can go into buildings and stuff. See what it looks like.
Yeah, but it's just I'm not even sure if they're in the beta yet. It's at least just an alpha right now.
Okay.
But like yeah,
You
well,
mean
I think I can just
the 3D metaverse part, you mean? In the
yeah.
metaverse.
Yeah, so I've clicked on my business center, which is earning me global funds. This is the main way that I withdraw from the game.
So
Some
this is
people like buy and sell.
MegaCryptopolis. Cryptopolis.
MegaCryptopolis.
3D.
Yeah.
Different
Yeah,
game.
it's the game I've been referring to as MCP and stuff.
MCP, yeah. And
Yeah.
this is on a couple of chains, I think it was. Like Tron. You're on Tron and it was on ETH before.
Well, I'm on both
Ethereum.
Ethereum and Tron. I started with Ethereum, but I really heavily invested in the Tron, and that's where I've made most of my money from the game was through Tron. But it's now also on BNB. On the
Okay. So it's a totally
yeah,
different town and universe in BNB.
yeah, but you can interact between them.
Okay.
They have a common token, the mega token, that you can evenly swap between, and they're adding like an airport.
Lance uppercut. I can see the profile
Yeah, this is my dude, and this is my PFP that I've chosen. Yeah, basically I chose him because he's one of my dudes that I have. Like any of your citizens that you own, you can make, and there's a 3D model associated with it that you can.
Can I use it as this avatar in streaming?
It depends on the input your programs accept. Yeah.
My guys,
Uh,
I'm pretty studly all here already.
but yeah, so like now they've added a way for you to actually jump into kind of the alpha or beta, whatever it is. So right here, this land plot in the metaverse, visit world, click on it, and then it should take me into it.
Well, yeah, we can maybe next time we can do a little deep dive into this one.
Yeah, it's just the intro video. I can skip that, and then you choose your character. I've got my dude here, Lance Uppercut. Yeah, yeah, and then you just jump in.
Does that say professional citizen?
Yeah, so that is dependent on your stats that you have. And here I am. And this is my building. It's not a popular area right now, but so you won't see many people. But yeah, you can go into the building. And this is the basic reception here. My receptionist. Later on, you can like go up the elevator and into specific rooms, and you can add like various NFTs for your furniture and all this other stuff.
Can you display your NFT artworks?
Yep.
In here?
That's correct.
Wow.
Yep.
Huh. That's just like, it seems like a base feature of every metaverse now.
Yeah.
Wow, even in this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, this game had, it planned for a long time. It's just finally becoming implemented, right?
Yeah, it's weird seeing this because I never hear anybody talk about it except you, and it's like this is way before. It feels like this is way before the other stuff that I've seen. Like, what do you know when this started?
I guess it's about 4 years ago now.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah, so I actually I bought pre-sale packs for Ethereum. That's how I got into the game. I don't even remember how I heard about it. I bought pre-sale packs, and then about a year after it was up and running, I actually started playing the game. And then once the Tron map was released, I was like, okay, I'm going to jump in with the brand new map and establish my presence, right?
That's crazy. 4 years ago, because that was, man, that's nuts. Like, that's way before, because NFTs really blew up in like 2021, basically. NFTs really
sounds about right.
So this was before that.
Yeah, and so like all these assets, I have are NFTs, right? Like I have land plots, buildings, citizens. I've got a ton of pets, a few cars, appliances. I've used most of them, and these are resources, the base things that you can make and use to build items within the game. These were the packs. I don't have any packs left because I've opened them all. Yeah, but it's available on Ethereum, Tron, and the BNB networks right now. And this one here, since I got in relatively early, this is where I've made most of my passive income from with NFTs.